The jewels that Queen Elizabeth never touched. She was the most photographed woman in the world, yet some jewels she never touched. One was gifted on her 18th birthday and left to gather dust in the vault. Another gleamed with over 140 carats, but she may have simply hated it. Why would a queen, surrounded by diamonds, quietly reject these treasures? In this video we will reveal those jewels today, and perhaps the reasons for Queen's neglect. Cartier Halo Tiara. The Cartier Halo Tiara may be modest in size, but its history is etched into the heart of the monarchy. Crafted by Cartier in 1936 and purchased by the Duke of York for his wife, Elizabeth, the future Queen Mother, it marked a return to public life after mourning King George V. She wore it just days later, its diamond scrolls gleaming at a charity gala, yet it never became her signature piece. In 1944, she gifted it to her daughter, Princess Elizabeth, for her 18th birthday. Wartime shortages meant new jewels were rare, so this small diamond tiara was chosen with care. But Elizabeth never wore it in public, not once. Some say it was too delicate for a future queen. Others believe she sensed early on that her destiny demanded gravitas, not decoration. Instead, she passed it forward. Princess Margaret wore it at Queen Juliana's inauguration and again at the 1953 coronation. Princess Anne donned it at her first state opening in 1967, and then it vanished into the vaults for over 40 years, until 2011, when Catherine Middleton wore it on her wedding day. A tiara passed down, worn by brides and princesses, but never by the woman it was given to. Was it personal taste, or was it something deeper? Perhaps Elizabeth already knew she was born to wear a crown, not a borrowed tiara. And so the Cartier Halo remains her most beautiful refusal. Princess Andrew Meander Tiara. When Elizabeth married Prince Philip in 1947, she received a striking diamond tiara from her new mother-in-law, Princess Andrew of Greece and Denmark. Crafted in a classical meander, Greek key design with honeysuckle motifs and a laurel wreath centre, this tiara whispered of Philip's heritage, ancient, exiled, and absolutely royal. Yet Elizabeth never wore it, not once in public, not in portraits, not even for state events. The world wonders why. Some believe the design felt too Greek, too connected to Philip's complicated roots during a delicate post-war era. 2 decades later, in 1972, just before Princess Anne's engagement, Queen Elizabeth quietly passed it on to her only daughter. Princess Anne embraced it instantly, donning it at state banquets and royal galas, its bold lines matching her confident poise. Then in 2011, a new chapter, Zara Phillips, Anne's daughter, wore the tiara at her wedding. A piece the Queen never wore had become a bridal crown for her granddaughter, securing its place in modern royal law. So why did Elizabeth keep it hidden? Perhaps it was never meant for her reign, but for the women who would follow in her footsteps, and that somehow makes its story all the more enduring. Queen Mary's Diamond Bando Tiara. It began with a wedding gift in 1893, a radiant diamond brooch from the people of Lincolnshire, offered to Princess Victoria Mary of Teck, later Queen Mary. Years later, in 1932, Mary transformed that treasured brooch into the heart of a sleek new tiara, the Queen Mary Diamond Bando, designed by Garrard in a modern Art Deco style. 11 dazzling panels of diamonds curved around the centerpiece, making it a masterpiece of quiet grandeur. When Queen Mary passed in 1953, she left the tiara to her granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth II. But for 65 years, Elizabeth never wore it. Ironically, she wore nearly all of Queen Mary's major tiaras during her reign, from the towering Cambridge Lover's Knot to the iconic girls of Great Britain and Ireland, but never this one. Almost as if the Bando was waiting for a different kind of royal story. Some believe the Queen may have worn the detachable central brooch in private, echoing Queen Mary's habit. But no photograph ever confirmed it, just whispers in court circles. The bandeau, it seemed, remained quietly tucked away in the royal vault. Then came May 19th, 2018. Meghan Markle's choice surprised many. Among all the tiaras she could have worn, she chose this forgotten jewel. Understated, elegant, and deeply symbolic, it finally had its moment at St. George's Chapel. A tiara that skipped a queen and crowned a duchess. Was it fate? That's the twist history never explained. Strathmore Tiara. A century ago, the Earl of Strathmore gave his daughter, a young lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, a gift of love and legacy, a tiara of wild diamond roses. It was 1923 and she was about to marry the Duke of York, unknowingly stepping into history as the future Queen Mother. The Strathmore Rose Tiara, crafted with detachable diamond blooms and hints of sapphire, was the perfect nod to flapper fashion, delicate, daring, and deeply romantic. The Queen Mother wore it low across her brow in the 1920s, a bride glowing with youthful elegance. For over 6 decades it rested in the royal vault, untouched by the Queen who had worn nearly every historic diadem in the royal arsenal. Yet this one, tied to her mother's earliest days, remained curiously unworn, a ghost of glamour from another time. Then quietly, a century later, it reappeared on the Princess of Wales during a state banquet in 2023. A jewel skipped a queen and found new life. Lotus Flower Tiara. The Lotus Flower Tiara began its life not as a crown but a necklace, given to the future Queen Mother on her wedding day in 1923. She had it dismantled and reshaped by Garrard into something light, delicate, and full of grace. The design echoed lotus flowers rising on water, diamonds set like dew, pearls nestled gently at the base. She wore it often in the early years of marriage, then passed it to Princess Margaret, whose sense of style gave the tiara a more modern flair. It was seen on Margaret at gala dinners, and later on her daughter-in-law Serena worn quietly on her wedding day in 1993. But when both the Queen Mother and Margaret died in 2002, the tiara returned to the royal vaults. By all accounts, Queen Elizabeth inherited it, and yet she never wore it. Not once. No portrait, no banquet, no explanation. Some believe it was too closely tied to personal memory, her mother, her only sister. Perhaps wearing it would have felt like stirring ghosts. It remained unseen for over a decade, until Catherine, Princess of Wales, wore it in 2013. Why Elizabeth never touched it, no one knows. Tech Crescent Tiara. The Tech Crescent Tiara was born from inheritance, crafted in 1857 by Princess Mary Adelaide using diamonds passed down from Princess Mary, Duchess of Gloucester. A favourite of the Duchess, it adorned royal weddings like that of Princess May, later Queen Mary, and coronation celebrations throughout the Victorian era. After her mother's passing, Queen Mary quietly acquired the tiara. While she was never officially photographed wearing it, it's believed she wore it privately for early royal galas, then tucked it into her growing vault of historic gems. In 1936, Mary gifted it to her daughter-in-law, Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, who wore it during the 1939 Canada tour and several glittering London banquets. When Elizabeth II inherited it in 2002, she never wore it. She loaned it to Camilla, but to this day, it remains unworn. Delhi Darbar Tiara. Crafted in platinum and gold, the Delhi Darbar Tiara is a towering spectacle, intricate scrolls, festoons, and lyres shimmering with over 400 diamonds. Originally set with emeralds from the Duchess of Cambridge's necklace, it was later refitted with the spectacular Cullinan 3 and 4 diamonds. Designed by Garrard for Queen Mary's moment of glory at the 1911 Delhi Darbar, it was always meant to command attention. But here's the quiet twist. Queen Elizabeth II never wore it. Though she inherited the tiara in 2002 after her mother's passing and did wear the rest of the Delhi Darbar parure, this piece stayed in the shadows. Instead, in 2005 she loaned it to Camilla, then newly married to Charles. Camilla wore it just once, for the Norwegian state banquet that same year. A tiara with imperial beginnings worn only once in modern memory. Why did Elizabeth keep it hidden? Some jewels sparkle in public, others carry stories too heavy to wear. The Greville Emerald Kokoshnik Tiara. The Greville Emerald Kokoshnik Tiara is a crown jewel of mystery and magnificence. Designed by Boucheron in 1919, it arches like a Russian kokoshnik, with rose-cut diamonds shimmering around 6 glowing emeralds, one at the centre said to weigh a staggering 93.7 carats. It's a tiara made for drama, yet it stayed hidden. Originally owned by Dame Margaret Greville, a society queen with a taste for opulence, it passed to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, in 1942. But oddly, neither she nor Queen Elizabeth II ever wore it, not once. For decades, the tiara slept in silence, until Princess Eugenie stunned the world in 2018, stepping out on her wedding day with this forgotten treasure sparkling above her gown. Why did Elizabeth never wear it? We may never know, but its sudden reappearance felt like a royal secret whispered into the light. What else lies in those vaults? Greville Tiara. The Greville Tiara, with its bold honeycomb lattice and nearly 142 carats of diamonds, is a statement of structured glamour. Crafted in 1921 by Boucheron from Mrs. Greville's own dismantled jewels, it was later elevated, literally by Cartier, who added height using larger stones from a brooch. In 1942, Dame Margaret Greville left this masterpiece to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, who wore it often, almost loyally. But when the Queen Mother passed in 2002, the sparkling heirloom passed to Queen Elizabeth II, who never touched it. She simply did not like it enough to wear it. But why did Elizabeth shy away from a tiara so iconic in her mother's image? No explanation was ever given. Curiosity lingers even today. Instead, this iconic tiara found a new queenly identity on the head of Camilla. And today, it remains her favourite tiara, worn in defining royal moments, including the 2023 state banquet. Thank you for watching. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more sparkling stories. We would love to know your thoughts on why the Queen never touched these exquisite jewels ever.